The Washington, D.C. jet chase, in an incident that is awash with conspiracy theories, NORAD and the Air National Guard picked up an unknown object that entered Washington's restricted flying zone on July 26, 2002. As the object's track caused concern, F-16s were scrambled to intercept the object, but the pilots claimed that they saw nothing when they arrived on the scene. The object also disappeared from radar. At the same time in Maryland, several witnesses saw a fast-moving bright blue light in the sky. The witnesses also said they saw jets pursuing it at high speed. According to NORAD, that was all that transpired and they view the matter as closed. But, according to the witnesses, more than 2 jets were in the air, which indicated that the scramble was unique. One dipped its wings on approach as if to communicate with the unknown object, and they also claim that the jets trailed the unknown object, but the object flew too fast for the jets to keep up. The event featured on Fox News as well as The Washington Post. (1952) Washington sightings. From 12 to July 29, 1952, a series of sightings took place in Washington. One of the most publicized events took place on the 19th. On that evening, an air traffic controller at Washington National Airport detected 7 unidentified objects on his radar screen. His superior immediately verified that the instrumentation wasn't faulty. Moments later, a controller at another facility also confirmed the objects, but he also saw a bright orange light, while yet another controller confirmed an orange disk hovering above the airport. At that point the radar scope lit up with even more objects, and the controllers phoned Andrews Air Force Base. Tracked by the Air Force as well as the other radar centers, fighter jets was scrambled. Some fighters reported that they saw white glows or lights. One even engaged them, while others reported nothing unusual. The Air Force's false radar readings caused by a temperature inversion excuse failed to impress, as the objects were also seen by hundreds of eyewitnesses, and as such, speculation continues to this day. Belgian UFO. On the evening of the 30th and 31st of March 1990, the Control Reporting Center, CRC, at Glon's radar confirmed triangular objects in the sky above Belgium after having received various reports of unusual lights as bright as stars that changed color. After receiving a second radar confirmation, 2 F-16 jets were scrambled to intercept. For more than an hour the F-16s tried to intercept. On 3 occasions they even obtained radar lock, but every time the objects would change their position or accelerate so fast that the locks were broken. During the first radar lock, the object accelerated from 150 meters ph to more than 100 meters ph, while changing altitude from 9,000 feet to 5,000 feet and back up to 11,000 feet in less than 2 seconds. These changes in altitude at the speeds reported would have been fatal to any human pilot. During the whole time, more than 13,000 people witnessed the unfolding drama from the ground. After a little more than an hour, the objects disappeared from the various radar screens and the F-16s returned to base. Campeche sighting. In March 2004, the crew of a military surveillance plane busy with a routine anti-drug trafficking surveillance flight caught sight of 3 unidentified objects on their radar. As they couldn't see anything with the naked eye in the area where the objects were supposed to be, they turned on their infrared camera to track them. For the next 30 minutes, they recorded 11 unidentified objects moving through the sky at a very high pace. One of the objects also seemed to divide or separate into 2 different objects. After chasing them, there were a few tense moments when the radar confirmed the objects had surrounded them. In a completely uncharacteristic move, the Mexican government released all the details of the event, and they provided the crew footage and the head of the Mexican Air Force for examination and questioning by the world's media. The Stephenville Lights. On January 8, 2008, dozens of residents in Stephenville saw a massive object in the sky above their town. Some said it was as big as a football field, while others said it was nearly a mile long. Very similar to the mass sighting in Phoenix during 1997. Several witnesses claimed that the object moved extremely fast. Some of the witnesses, of which one is a private pilot, believed that military aircraft chased the object and that it turned around and traveled back to the direction where it originally appeared from as they spotted F-16s in pursuit. The story was covered by CNN's Larry King in the days after the event. After almost 2 weeks, after denying any aircraft were operational in the area, the U.S. Air Force did an 180 and now claimed they were conducting training flights in the area that involved 10 fighter jets. That might have been the end of the rumors had it not been for the very detailed radar report obtained from the FAA, which clearly showed the very large object in the sky tailed by the jets at the exact time witnesses claimed they were seeing the unidentified object.